on the stairway to stardom. You'll see tomorrow's stars today on the stairway to stardom. We're here to brighten up your day. We've got singers and dancers and actors performing for you. But there's more, so much more, and it's all right here for you. On the stairway to stardom, we'll entertain with talent and style. On the stairway to stardom, we've got the other shows beat by a mile. On the stairway to stardom, on the stairway to stardom.
Hi, welcome to Stairway to Stardom. I'm your host, Frank Masi, and this is my lovely co-host, Tilly. How you doing?
Oh, pretty.
The Stairway to Stardom is a trip. I think that's the best way I can describe it. Stairway to Stardom was a television show, barely, that aired between 1979 and ran all the way to the early 1990s. Well, that's a pretty long time. How come most people haven't heard of this? Well, that's because, this is a public access television show. Now, you're probably wondering what the heck that even means. And if you have to ask, that means you are so young. Adorable. And, well, back in the day, it was kind of the equivalent to YouTube in a way, although it took way more effort. Public access television, sometimes also called community access television, is non-commercial mass media where basically anyone can create television programming that appear on specialty channels through narrowcasting. And narrowcasting is the dissemination of information to a very specialized audience. In this case, it was localized. Generally speaking, public access television only aired in a very specific region. In Stairway to Stardom's case, it was New York City. And the thing about public access television, probably more so than anything else, is that it was a lawless wasteland of sheer chaos. Since basically anybody could make a TV show with enough nerve, it kind of became known for having some pretty kooky stuff. There's actually a pretty decent following behind watching old public access television. And technically speaking, public access television is still a thing, but it's not nearly what it was. Mostly because the internet exists, as does YouTube. I mean, anyone can upload something to YouTube. The tools needed to accomplish the tasks of creating media, or content, as the kids say, is much more readily accessible than back in the day. But regardless of any of that, Stairway to Stardom never aired on a proper network. It was always a public access television show. And just to be clear, it should not be confused with an entirely different show, also called Stairway to Stardom, that aired between 1950 and 1951 on a New Jersey television station, WATV. That particular Stairway to Stardom was hosted by Bill Cook, a radio disc jockey, and it was actually among the first with an African-American host. It was a talent show, in effect, although in its case, it is 100% lost media. I can't even find a still of that one, let alone footage. So it might never be seen again. But the Stairway to Stardom we're talking about today is also a talent show, and we do have lots and lots and lots of footage of it. And yeah, it's something.
Well, here's Dante singing a song for you, okay?
This land is mine. God gave this land to me. This brave and ancient land to me. And when the morning sun reveals new hills and plains, then I see a land where children can run free.
As a talent show, well, I mean, that's basically all it is. It's a very simple premise. Stairway to Stardom allowed people who were trying to get their names out there, to be on television, showcase what they can do, to appear and perform in front of an audience. It's often considered kind of a precursor to something like American Idol or America's Got Talent, because, well, I mean, those are just talent shows. Although in American Idol's case, it's singing, I believe. I don't know, I don't watch it. I'm pretty sure that's all it is, though. I guess America's Got Talent's a bit more varied, but Stairway to Stardom's more like that, where basically if you had any kind of talent, any kind of performance to put on, of course within the realm of being safe for work, you could appear on the show. It was hosted by a man named Frank Masi, and some are under the impression this was all filmed on Staten Island in Masi's basement. That's not true. The origin of that rumor dates back to a discussion about the show on NPR, where someone joked that Stairway to Stardom appeared to be filmed in a freshly carpeted Staten Island basement. That was always, though, a joke. In reality, it was filmed at ELA Studios on West 59th Street in Manhattan. So there was some level of budget here, but not much of one. And in order to appear on the show, you really didn't need much. You had to be able to perform, and be accepted by Masi and his wife, who were handling things, as well as pay a production fee. Outside of that, I mean, you're golden. Welcome to Stairway to Stardom, and it's your big break. You're going to be a huge star. Massive, absolutely, 100%. And no. No, not really. Not in the way you'd think. I mean, this isn't American Idol. It was never a nationally syndicated show with a huge budget and millions of viewers. It was public access television. And while Manhattan is a pretty big place, not everyone was watching public access television. And even if they were, well, I'm going to try to be nice, because on one hand, it would be easy for me to sit here and say that none of these people have any talent and they're all terrible and never going to go anywhere. But for one thing, that's pretty mean. And for two, you kind of have to respect their drive. I mean, even though this is just a public access television show, they were still appearing on television and performing. That's not an easy thing to do. I mean, even in the modern day, well, as someone who makes YouTube videos, when I first started doing this, I was pretty nervous. I mean, it takes time and effort to get comfortable, and even now I usually don't even appear on camera like these people were. That takes guts. Especially if you're trying to showcase a talent, something that you're supposed to be good at, but by showcasing it, you're obviously opening yourself up to criticism. Now, regardless of the quality of any performance here, Masi's always a gracious host and treats his guests pretty well. Though that may be because he himself, seemed to think that he was also going places, as he often sang on the show. Now, quite why he was doing this, I don't really know, because he's supposed to be the host, not a performer. But he did that a lot. Quite a bit.
Back down the stairway to stardom. You can't ever allow anything to stand in your way.
Whether he's doing it with one of the guests or just on his own, it was just a thing he liked to do. His performances vary in quality. Sometimes he sounds alright, sometimes he doesn't. And in the beginning, it seems that he was the one who was singing the theme song for the show for the intro. But that would later be dropped and replaced with one of the better performers on Stairway to Stardom, a band called All the King's Men.
But not without a star. We only want to be free. We huddle close, hang on to a dream.
Now, among Stairway to Stardom's following, All the King's Men has become kind of popular, because frankly, they really weren't bad. At all. I don't believe they ever achieved any mainstream success, but listening to them you could say, yeah, no, they're alright.
Wanna be on late night, wanna make my final stand, wanna be on late night, with Paul Schaefer and the band, don't wanna be on on Oprah till someone cuts our hair. Wanna be on late night, 'cause Dave is hanging there.
They were good enough and impressed Masi to the point that he even asked them to make a new theme song for Stairway to Stardom, which they did. It was the one you heard at the beginning of this very video. But truthfully, All the King's Men is one of the rare examples of some quality that comes out of Stairway to Stardom. Because I'll be upfront, most of the reason people still watch the show now among the cult following is because of how surreal and downright hilarious it often gets. Because basically, in terms of letting someone appear on the show, Masi didn't seem to have very high standards. Granted, it was public access TV, so he couldn't exactly afford to be picky, but if you were willing to pay that production fee, he was like, sure, go nuts. And they did. And sometimes it got really, really weird.
Libby, come on over. I guess you and the girls have been wondering why I've got me this new hairdo and new clothes. Well, you see, Libby, I'm going to become a big movie star. You remember that guy, Alfie, that we met in the pub? Well, he's been managing me now. And next week, we're going to go to London to make a demo. What's a demo? Oh, a demo's a recording, Libby, of my singing voice. What do you mean I can't sing? I sing like a canary. Oh, no, Libby. I don't sing like that anymore. No, Alfie's pulled the voice right out of me. Okay, now, Libby, go on over to the recorder and put on the recording by the Manhattan Transfer called Operator. All right? And then you're going to see how I'm going to sing the demo, Libby. Information. Give me long distance. Long distance. Give me head. 1, 2, 3. Oh, operator. Information. Give me Jesus on the line. Operator. Information. I'd like to speak to a friend of mine. Prayer is the number. Faith is the exchange. Heaven is the street. Jesus is his name. Operator. Information. Please give me Jesus on the line.
Again, I'm trying not to come down on anybody because I do think that a lot of people were trying their best, and, you know, I don't want to be mean, but also, there's a lot to unpack here, as you can see. Since this is a variety show, there are a lot of different acts. It's not just singing, it's not just dancing. There are many, many different ways people attempt to be entertaining. I'm going to try to break down each category in terms of what we know from the show, and go over which ones were the worst and which ones were the best. Among singing, well, that's a pretty wide variable. Some people that come on the show aren't that bad. Others come on the show and make me want to eat broken glass. It depends.
The only place I want to go is where the Spirit leads me. The only food I want to eat is where the Spirit feeds me. I'm not talking about the food that human eyes can see. I'm talking about the bread of life that is setting me free. I guess you can't say I'm his #1 fan. I'm not ashamed to say it, I'm a God-fearing man.
But if I were to categorize the best example of the singing on the show outside of All the King's Men, there are two notable entries here. One is actually a young girl who was just 12. Yeah, that's the other thing. Masi did allow kids to perform on the show, and that could result in some pretty questionable performances because they're kids, and no.
Keep on rocking till the boy daylight gonna rock. Gonna rock. I said R-O-C-K, rock around the clock tonight. cuckoo. When the chimes ring 5 and 6 and 7, I'll be going up in 7. Hey, we're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Gonna keep on rocking till the broad daylight. We're gonna rock. We're gonna rock. I said R-O-C-K, rock around the clock tonight. Cuckoo.
Listen, I know parents want to be supportive. I'm a dad, but honestly, to me, this comes off as, like, family YouTubers, you know, like, don't put your kids out there until they're older, and... But one, in particular, named Bernadette, actually was pretty good, especially for her age.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. These vagabond shoes are longing to stray and step around the heart of it. New York, New York. I want to wake up in a city that never sleeps, to find I'm queen of the hill, top of the heap.
But unfortunately for every Bernadette, there was, of course, Lucille.
Hairdresser, hairdresser, whoa, hairdresser, 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 would you set me up, make a little wave or two, make me into something new, 'cause I am so blue.
But another one I actually really like, and I think it's actually one of the best for all the wrong reasons, but still great, was a group called Reason to Live and their song, Funky Groove. And I don't think you guys are ready for this level of funk.
Hey girl, what's up? I like to get you on the floor so I can funk with you, you know? Baby, you don't have to be shy. Just follow me. I'll show you what I mean.
Let your feelings go. Let your body move to groove.
Funky groove.
Let your feelings go. Let your body move to groove.
Funky groove.
I don't know what gets me more, the awkward movements or the mistimed choreography, but the song itself really isn't that bad, honestly. I dig it. Another thing to say about the singing angle also is that sometimes performers would come in but lip sing instead of actually sing live. Quite why that happened is debated. It might just be because it sounded better to do a pre-recorded one, make them sound good, but also I wonder if it wasn't even them singing in some cases.
Next, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to do a medley of the Drifters tune, Under the Boardwalk and Stand By Me. Thank you. This was recorded with my group.
The night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we see. Oh yes it is. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me.
But there wasn't just singing, there was also dancing, or singing and dancing.
That makes me, takes me, what can I say? And when we dance, I feel in your glance, oh, pages and ages of love and romance. Now they say that Romeo was some lover too, but he could take some lessons from you. You seem to start where others are through. Oh, Charlie, Charlie, my boy. Now how you gonna keep 'em down on the farm after they seen Paris? How you gonna keep 'em away from Broadway, hanging around, all doing the town now?
You know, that's actually one act that makes me realize one of the many problems with Stairway to Stardom. See, many of the show's performers are actually older people from either the Silent or the Greatest generation. And the issues there is they want to showcase their talents and maybe make it to stardom. And that's fine, but many of them seem to be performing acts that were popular when they were younger. And it was the late 70s, 80s. Times had changed, and a lot of the acts were pretty dated. Granted, it resulted in some pretty humorous situations, but hey, it's alright. Though, it is worth mentioning that one of the very, and I mean outrageously few people to make it big after appearing on Stairway to Stardom was a dancer named Anthony Ciula. He would eventually become a Tony-nominated choreographer and even danced with Michael Jackson. So, yeah, good for him, he made it. And his dancing performance is one of the better ones, so that does make sense. But singing and dancing is basic stuff. What about the variety? I mean, there's gotta be other things that people are doing on this show, and oh yeah, there was a lot of stuff that people tried to do. One of them was even a puppet show, which was one of the strangest performances, and unintentionally hilarious, because the camera is angled in such a way that you can see the puppeteer's head. Like, what? Even if this wasn't strange, that this is her talent, I mean, guys, come on! I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm so tired. I've been playing all day with my friends. Oh, there's a log. I think I'll sit. Oh, my, what a beautiful day. And the sky, it's so blue. This is a soft log. Oh, what was that? Oh! Who are you?
My name is Irving. Who are you?
My name is Alice. Where did you come from?
There was, of course, Jerry Callahan, who was one of the most boring magicians I've ever seen in my life. That was impressive.
I will do what I call the paper balls in the bottomless box. Okay? I'll place the box right here. May we have some music, please? It's always helpful to have a little music. All right? Now I have to explain. We have 4 paper napkins. I will roll each one into a ball. It will enter the box, but you won't see it go in. Nevertheless, when it's all over, you'll be amazed.
we really want to talk about the worst of the show, the outright just awful, we need to talk about the comedians. See, the thing about the singing, for example, is that, yeah, there's a lot of bad acts in terms of that, like a lot of bad acts, but many of them fall into the realm of so bad it's good. Like, they're not trying to be funny, they're trying to be actually genuine, but because they aren't good at it, well, yeah, it's still entertaining in a way. But the comedy acts, the ones that are supposed to be intentionally funny, yeah, see, that's where things really start falling apart. I am seriously convinced that not a single comedian that ever appeared on Stairway to Stardom was actually a good comedian in any way. Literally, some of the worst attempts at comedy I have ever seen in my life.
Let's bring out Wayne Rubin, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. As you know, every year, Jerry Lewis has a telethon for muscular dystrophy, and of course, it's a very worthwhile cause. But what would happen if he had a telethon for dandruff? I think we'd go something like this.
All right, here we are on our 24th hour for dandruff, and so far we have reached a total of $1. $1 in 24 hours? I have here a letter from the President of the United States. Says, Dear Jerry, good luck in your fight against dandruff. What's the matter, Reagan couldn't send a few dollars with the letter? And now from the Middle East, I'd like to bring out, here's Menachem Begin. Menachem, come on out here. Louis, where is he, Louis? He ain't here? Menachem couldn't be with us, so instead I'd like to bring out the voice of racing, Fred Capicella. Thank you, Jerry. The horses are on the track. It is now post time. In this race, fat lady, 10 pounds over. And it's cabbage by a head. Thank you, Fred. And now, from Jackie Gleason's American Scene magazine, here's Joe the bartender and Crazy Guggenham. How you doing, Donahue? Craze Shaw's in the back. I'll call him out. Hey, Craze.
Hi, Joe. Hello, Mr. Donahue. Hey, Joe, I was hanging around the house. I wasn't doing nothing.
Listen. Wayne. My man, my homie. I don't want to come down on you too hard. I see you trying. But as someone who does different voices for characters, and as someone who doesn't consider themselves even that good at it, well, I just need to point out that if you keep being this unfunny, I'm gonna put you with the rest of the steam engines. One of the comedian's jokes was calling the audience ugly. Seriously, that was the joke.
I could be a hero myself, but I don't look too good between two pieces of bread. No, it's good to say there's some more ugly folks here in the room besides myself. No kidding, there's some ugly folks here tonight. If you don't believe me, look next to you. Go ahead, take a chance. No, there's two guys over there. This guy's saying, it ain't me, man, it ain't me. No, but I know some of you people watching me at home. There's some guy at home telling his wife, hey, he's talking about you, honey. No, but this is true. You have to meet my old lady to believe in Halloween. When I met her, I thought she had a mask on. Ugly, just ugly for no particular reason. But she can sing better than anybody ever heard. She can sing better than Nancy Wilson, better than Ella Fitzgerald, better than anybody. Just name somebody. Name. Barbara Streisand, Dinah Shore. She can outsing all of them. Just ugly and won't get into show business.
Like, what is happening here? And I bet you're wondering, outside of that one dancer, did anybody who appeared on this show actually, well, make it to stardom? And for the most part, no. No, basically no one did. The only other exception that I'm aware of, beyond Ciula, is Robert Amico. He appeared in a musical act playing the guitar, and it is one of the better acts on the show. It isn't bad, but it is worth mentioning he didn't become famous through music. He's known these days as an actor, producer, and director. You actually may recognize him from some of the shows and movies he's been in. Outside of that, though, I don't think anybody ever made it to stardom, at any point. And it's easy for us to look back and laugh at them, but again, you gotta give them credit for trying here. They wanted to appear on television, they wanted to showcase their talents, and they went out and did it. Even if the results leave a lot to be desired, they still did it, and that's commendable in a way. But due to the bizarre nature of the whole thing, the low budget, the low quality, the downright just hilariously bad performances in many cases, Stairway to Stardom in the modern day has obtained a pretty notable cult following. They even had a screening back in 2006, with some people who appeared on the show returning. All the King's Men was there and performed live and sound great. And there was also Jimmy Schwartzman, who is one of the more notable acts, being just kind of odd.
Good is sitting alone in your room. Come hear the music play. Come to the cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret.
I don't even think he sounds bad. I just think it's strange. But the dude totally did his act again live for everyone there. And that's pretty awesome. Full marks to Jimmy for that one. Regardless though, nowadays talent shows are relatively commonplace when it comes to reality television. It's all corporatized and they have, like, standards and rules and all this stuff. But back on public access television, there were no such restrictions. The chaos was on full display, and I think that's why people like it so much, even now. It's not the sort of entertainment that one would call good, but it is kind of an interesting quality, the sort of thing you can't really look away from, and in that regard, you can call pretty much anybody that ever appeared on the show kinda successful. Yeah, basically none of them ever became stars, but they appeared and entertained us. And you know, not everyone can say that. Till next time, this is Darkness, and I bid you all a fond farewell.